Terry, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Is your back sore from carrying us yesterday?
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, I had my first place pick, parlay. First
Yeah,
one.
you did.
I did, and I collected 56.40.
56.40.
Yes.
That's pretty good. From what? From $20 is the start?
Yeah,
And you did it at Parks, right?
I did. Yeah.
So how many winners did you have in that?
Oh, I had three, I think. No,
They all won?
I think they did. Yeah, I know that my first pick won the last three legs of our pick four.
Mm-hmm. So when I think about that, Terry, I think about our pick four. I was a 50-50 decision away from having the hot dog too. I was deciding between the 4 and the 6. And although the 6 horse ran up to like 11-1 odds, it seems like everybody had him in the pick 4 because the morning line favorite, they probably had the same logic we did and said, well, we're not going to let him beat us. Right. So as a result, I think that's what we probably saw happen there. And that's why a $27 horse didn't really fatten up the pick 4 the way we kind of hoped it might have, right?
That's true. It only paid like $70-some, like $73 or something like that.
But we had it twice. And the thing I was thinking about, though, we had a trifecta, I think, in at least one leg. We had 2 singles, and they both won. I singled to 6, you singled to 8. So if you think about it, Terry, with your 3P parlay, our singles, the way some of the races worked out in our commentary, it wouldn't have been that hard to get the pick 6 there.
No, it wouldn't have been. That's absolutely true. So,
and I don't know how much it paid, though. I didn't bother to look, but I just thought about that this morning. I'm like, we were kind of all over every one of those races at Parks yesterday, and it worked out pretty well to our favor. So I was pretty happy about that. I would have liked to have gotten there's a strange thing on my camera and my screen. I have no idea what it is in the corner here. And I'm wondering what it is because there's nothing behind me. So it's interesting. It's to my left, and you can see like it's something in the corner of my screen, right? Or no?
No, I don't see anything. Just, a little blue thing.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing behind me. That's really weird. I have no idea what that is. Look, if I come over here, it's actually in front of me, whatever it is.
It is, yeah.
Some kind of overlay on the computer screen. That's really odd.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I'm just thinking, what is that? And well, if I can do that, maybe I can put some other things on the screen as well, right?
Yeah.
So in any case, Terry, hopefully today is another day where we can go ahead and knock things out. We're at Indiana Grand, and all 4 of the races in our pick 4 today are $100,000 stakes races and up. So
yeah,
it could rain there, though, today again, Terry.
Yeah, but the good thing about it, if it does rain, all 4 of those races are on the dirt. They're not on the turf. So they're not going to change. Yes, it might affect whether a horse likes the slop or the muddy track, but it's not going to change from turf to dirt.
Yeah, I don't know. You're not going to get any of those changes. So there were a few scratches, but didn't really impact our tickets at all, right?
No, didn't.
All right, let's get started with the day's news, Terry. Did you know that Dallas Stewart rolled a perfect game at Churchill Downs for bowling?
Yeah,
he had win number 300.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely, yeah.
Are you a bowler?
I used to be. I haven't bowled in probably 20 years, but I used to bowl, yeah.
Did you know I once saw somebody bowl a 301?
Oh, how could you do that?
Did you ever see somebody bowl a 300 and lose?
Oh, that was pretty cool.
I got you there, didn't I, Terry?
You did.
Yes, yeah. I did. Anyway, that's a little joke you could play on your friends. I'll bet you $5 somebody can bowl a 301. Anyway, so Dallas Stewart did win. He was there's a lot of news at Churchill Downs on the weekend, but he won his 300th race at Churchill Downs. I remember younger that name when I was a little bit younger and first coming into horse racing. I remember that name Dallas Stewart a little bit more. Seems it was a little bit more prominent a few years ago than it is today, but maybe he's on the comeback trail to being one of the top trainers.
Yeah, he could be. And he used to be an assistant to D. Wayne Lucas for several years before he went on his own. So he had a pretty good teacher there.
Yeah, he had one of the best teachers for sure. And then I don't know if he's a good teacher or not, but he's definitely in the news lately, right?
Yes.
Bye-bye, Bob in the Big Apple.
That's it. Yeah. He lost indeed. There.
It looks like Bob Baffert, the judge, says that the New York Racing Association has laid out the plan for Bob Baffert. So they now have a trial, if his due process. And because they've laid out that due process procedures, the New York Racing Association can now suspend Bob Baffert.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't know. For me, it's starting to get old talking about Bob Baffert. I'd like to go on to some other things. I wish they'd get it over with, whatever they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just, when he is the face of racing, when he's in the news, unfortunately, it's something that people are going to talk about. And I feel like if we ignore it, people might think, well, why are they ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm not saying ignore it, but it does bother me because I think it hurts racing, horse racing. So
I think it might be I know yesterday we were talking about how he wants to, or Monday, that he wants to win another Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. This could be the beginning of the end of us talking about Bob Baffert.
Could be. Yeah, could be because, he's got a lot of things going on. So.
Yeah, it's that proverbial train wreck, the car wreck on the side of the road. You don't want to look, but you can't help it anyway. And even if you're on the other side of the traffic, it slows down to take a look. Gaper's delay.
Correct.
It's the worst thing in the planet, Gaper's delay. But anyway, some positive news. There's a horse out there, Cody's Wish. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I am, and I'm really happy about it. This is really good. I'm glad that they're doing something positive, and this is pretty cool. I'll tell you that right now. So
they had a 15-year-old Cody Dorman who suffers from a rare genetic disorder, according to our Valerie Melanoma. I always struggle with their name. She's probably going to smack me, but this horse, the kid liked horses. Godolphin went ahead and named the horse Cody's Wish, sponsored the family, and then the horse went off to Churchill and won a race for trainer Bill Mott.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like things like this. It makes, it shows that there's a lot of good that happens in the horse racing industry. So.
Well, I have to say, Terry, we're in this business, right? And one of the things that we do is we reach out to people to come on to our podcast show, right? The Player's Edge podcast every Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the Horse Racing Radar TV station on YouTube. And for the most part, every single person we've reached out to has been very accommodating, very nice, whether it be jockey, TV personality. Actually, we had Carson Kressley on from TV, movies and stuff. So he was very friendly. So everybody we've reached out to has been enormously friendly. And I have to say that this business probably should do a better job of marketing its people.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah.
I mean, David Cabrera and Jose Ortiz, when we talk to them, I don't think they ever stop smiling.
No, they're very positive. Most of the jockeys are like that. Most of them have really good, characters, and they've got positive attitudes all the time, and that's what I think you need to ride these horses.
Pretty strong dispositions, right?
Yeah, and they're great athletes. Years ago they had a thing where they had athletes compete against each other for football, baseball, and whatever, and also
just not basketball.
I don't know if basketball was there or not, but anyway, they competed in different things like relay races, running, strength races, situations, and the jockeys almost always won them.
Yeah, that's why I said they just didn't play basketball, though. Jockeys in basketball would be tough.
No, that's true, unless they stood on each other's shoulders.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. In any case, Terry's pick of the day. We will stand on your shoulders today, Terry, once again, to see how did your pick do yesterday and what do you think about today?
Okay, my pick yesterday was at Parks, and it was in the second race, and it was a sloppy mess there. And it was Expensive Style, the number one horse, and he ran second, paid $260 to place, $220 to show. My second pick, number 6, Visual Artist, ran third, paid $280. But now having left there, let's go to Indian Grand. And I like the race number 5, which is the first race in the pick 5. And that kind of works into what we're doing today with our pick 4. I like number 5, Leading the Charge, won 4 of his last 5 races, running second in his last race. And in preparation for this race, he had a bullet workout on September 29th of 4 furlongs, 48-1, breezing, best out of 37. And then number 6, Poppy Boys, Poppy's boys has
Yeah,
won.
whoever's boys they are, they're still Poppy's something or another's.
Yep. Well, he won 2 races in a row at Arlington Park, and now goes for the 3rd win in a row. He
A
returns.
hat trick.
Yeah, hat trick. He returns to Indiana Grand, where he has won 2 out of 2 races, so he's perfect there. Number 8, Patty's House, was squeezed at the 8th pole and ran a 3rd in his last race. He will be closing from close off the pace.
He'll be coming late, storming late, like 30,000 pounds of bananas down the hill in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's hometown, for like 10 minutes. Okay, let's talk about Indiana Grand, as you mentioned. That is our fly for the day, Terry, where you and I will put together a pick 4 ticket based upon our selections. We haven't discussed this yet. There are some rules. We have the ability to veto the other guy, and if not, the person can use a lock. So if Terry likes the 3 horse in a race and I can't stand them, Terry says, too bad, Rich, smack you to the side. Just like, who did that to me? What was her name? Maggie Wolfendale laughed at me. Yes. Thank you, Maggie. But in any case, Terry can go ahead and do that to me. And there's nothing I can do to stop him from putting that horse in there. So let's go ahead and start. It is Indiana Grand, Terry. It starts in race number 6, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And race number 6 is the $100,000 Miss Indiana Stakes. Purse for $100,000 for registered Indiana bred 2-year-old fillies. It's 1.70 miles on the main track. And as you mentioned, even if it does rain, they're not going to move it. Maybe some horses run better in the dirt than in the mud than they would in the fast track, which is rated right now as a fast track.
Yes.
At the 70% of these races are won by speed, with 26% of the winners going wire to wire, leading from pillar to post, or post to pillar, I guess, in horse racing. And then when you look at the draw the post positions, the inside 3 appear to have a little bit of an edge. So that's kind of the profile of a winner of 1.70 miles on Indiana Grand course. I got a little confused about post positions and so forth there. All right, Terry, how do you like them? What's your top pick here?
Well, my top pick is number 3, Louder Than Words. She ran 2nd in her last race despite having to check repeatedly. And she has a high percentage trainer, one of the highest last race speed ratings, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I do agree with you, Louder Than Words. I do think that it's, the first 2 races were 5 furlongs and 6 furlongs. So stretching out for the first time, which is about a 20% winner for trainer Anthony Granitz. But when you look at the horse's debut, when you look at the horse's second race, the one where it checked repeatedly, it looks to me like it's going to have a pretty good late kick. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't always work out that horses that have a late kick and 6 furlongs have one in routes. But I would expect it will be one of the hardest coming late. Was the favorite last out against some of these, and I feel like it should get a better trip if it's not checked all the way around the course. To me, I think this whole day has a chance, unfortunately, to be kind of chalky, Terry. I hope not. I hope we can catch a price in here somewhere. But I think the second best horse, or maybe even the best horse, is the one right to the inside of the 3 horse, Louder Than Words, and that's Holy Justice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the horse has done absolutely nothing wrong in its first 2 races. It's second by a half a length, and then won the next 2. Won its last race with tying for the top last race speed figure. As I mentioned many times, I like when a horse ties for the last race speed figure and then goes ahead and puts a bullet workout afterwards.
Yeah, and it's my second pick, and actually it's my first pick for my place pick parlay. The thing is that I had a hard time deciding between the 3 and the 2. Mm-hmm. The number 2, Holy Justice, she ties with Louder Than Words for the highest last race speed rating and the best dirt speed, being the fastest among today's starters. So I think they're pretty close to almost the same.
Yeah, when you look at their numbers are pretty similar for sure. The Holy Justice will be in front of Louder Than Words likely out of the gates. And then the question is, can Louder Than Words pass Holy Justice, which she could not do last time out. So I agree with you. To me, the 2 and the 3 were the 2 horses here that I feel like are more than a cut above the rest. that doesn't mean that somebody can't beat them, but I feel like if they ran this race 50 times, the 2 or the 3 would probably win 40.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, absolutely.
Based upon, I mean, they're 2-year-olds, so you just don't know what's going to happen.
You know.
So is there any price in here that you want to add?
Yeah, I like number 8, Tort. And he's won his last race at Indiana Downs at a mile, which he's about the only horse that's went any kind of a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And he switches to Florent Guru.
Florent Guru.
Yeah,
We'll say it like Tom. 22 to 1.
And he's actually just stretching out. So he's 10 to 1 on the morning line.
You like 8, 10 to 1 morning line. I'd like the Florent Guru upgrade to a jockey for sure. Second race off the left showed some major improvement in its first race off of a break. So it came and debuted in late July, went right to the barn, took some rest, came back and ran very well. I'm not a huge fan of horses coming from the maiden win up into the stakes races. I had a little bit of a price here, Terry, that well, there was kind of 2 that I was looking at, but one is a longer shot than the other. Maybe we could stick them off to the side or think about putting them in later on. But number 5, Sky's Image. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at the past performances there, and it's just the last 2 are absolutely brutal. But the last race is not as bad as it looks on paper. Actually, it was an improvement from the race before. Yes. The horse was the favorite against many of these last time out. And I feel like looking at its numbers that it's not a sprinter. I have a feeling that the distance is going to suit Sky's Image better than the 6 furlongs or 5 furlongs did. And it's the only horse in the field to show any sort of internal improvement last time out. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that it's going to, I mean, it could finish dead last, Terry, but I just looking at that, I'm fearful of that improvement. I'm fearful that it does have a shot to improve going a longer distance, that this is the long shot in the race that people might overlook that can upset the ticket.
Okay. We can put it there and then maybe add it.
Yeah. Well, if there's a scratch, something, if you have deeper pockets. Is there any other horse here you want to think about, or should we move on? Because I feel like the 2 and the 3 probably win this race. If not, the 8 or maybe the 6. But other than that, I couldn't see anything else.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to move on. So.
All right, so this is another race coming up that can be pretty chalky too. Race number 7.
Yeah,
the 5-horse Mullins looks like it's just, again a standout to me. This is a mile and 70 yards again. Mm-hmm. It's the Indiana Futurity. It's another purse for $100,000. This one's for Indiana bred 2-year-olds, colts and geldings, preferred, not necessary, but preferred. In any case, I mean, you have to start with number 5 Mullins. The horse ran the top last race. Speed figure should be better in its third start off a layoff. Had all sorts of improvement. Its numbers just dramatically increased last time out. If it continues to improve in its third start off a layoff, I don't know if we can pick someone who's going to beat him.
No, I totally agree with you there. He was my first choice, and he finished in the money all of his career races and won 2 of those. He has the highest race speed rating and the best dirt speed among today's starters. So, yeah, I think he's pretty much of a standout almost.
Yeah, I think when I look at him, I mean, he does seem to have a on again, off and then on again, off again pattern to him. But the off again is really not a bad off. It's not like he goes from winning to 10th, from back to winning back to 10th. It's like, okay, I win. I take a little bit of regression. I finish second or third. I win. I take a little bit of regression. Last time was a win. So the only concern I have is if he follows that pattern, he might regress a little bit. And if he does regress a little bit, Terry, who's going to beat him?
Number 6, Scotty's on Edge. He won his debut race, Indiana Downs, 5.5 furlongs. And the trainer wins 21% of the time when he brings a horse back for its first route race.
Mm. And one of the things here, there's a betting handicapping angle that I like here, Terry. And this is one that I've kind of developed on my own. I didn't read it in a book. It's just something I kind of noticed as I was doing handicapping.
Yeah.
So let me just pull this up here real quick again, if I can. Hold on a second. So when you look at number 6, and it'll be tough to do, but he ran a speed, and we use Brisnet, but he ran a speed figure last time out of 74. Mm-hmm. So if you go back and look, and that was in his debut, if you look at every horse in this field's debut, 52, 47, and then down here you have 53, 47, 69. There's your 74, 53. And then you have 67, 37, 15. I'm sorry if I'm boring, Terry. 60. So
No, it's
when you
fine.
look at that number, and then 37. So one of the angles that I've come to like when you get some of these horses that are racing against each other that are kind of lightly raced, and you really don't have a whole lot to measure them against relative to the other horses in the field. I like to look at that debut speed figure if a horse is making its second start and how that debut speed figure ranks against every other horse in the field.
Yeah.
It was the top debut speed figure, belongs to the 6 horse Scotty's on Edge. So if there's any improvement at all, like many horses do in the second time career start, I think the horse could run away from this field. So I do agree with you that the 6 is the most likely to unseat number 5 as the winner. Once again, I'm going to go with a little bit of a long shot as a third pick, Terry, and that's number 9. What Now, Daryl?
All right.
This is, again, a horse. So it ran 5 furlongs, 5.5 furlongs, 5.5 furlongs, 6 furlongs in its first 4 starts. And now it's stretching out to a route for the first time. It's not really a big winner for the trainer. Genaro Garcia only hit at about 7% out of 41 races. So what's that, 3?
Yeah.
So it's not a big winner for sure. Does have a win over the track. But the one thing I'm looking at here, Terry, is it has consistently, 4 consecutive speed and figure increases, but it's consistently improving in its late run. I have a feeling, just looking at its line, that this is a horse that is going to really like running a mile and 70 yards versus sprinting.
I agree. He's improved every race, his speed rating, and looks like he can run a distance to me. Yes.
You want to throw him in there?
Yeah, let's just put that one in. But I do like to put one on the side.
All right.
In case, and that's number 3, Humble Sawyer. What I like is he's won his last race after improving in each of his first career races. And his last race is at a mile. Now he stretches out to a mile and 70, which he appears to be able to handle. And I really like his workouts, especially like the last one was at 4 furlongs. He was 4th out of 26. And then he had one before that, which was pretty decent. So
you want to just put him in there at a price because it's a second price, and just call this race a day and move on.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So race number 8, and the reason I say that is because, again, race number 8, and as I started on the top, I mentioned that there is a chance that this could go very chalky today because you got the 2 or the 3 followed by the 5. There's going to be a big favorite in race number 8. That's the Cardinal Stakes for $150,000. They're going to add a little bit of distance. Now they're running a mile and a 16th. Again, mile and a 16th. They run 58 races at the distance and surface. 71% of them were won by speed horses. A quarter of them ran wire to wire. Unlike a mile and 70 yards, for some reason, it looks like the outside posts, as you move away from the rail, you have a little bit of an advantage. Maybe there's something about that first turn. I'm not 100% sure or familiar with why that would be at Indiana Grand. So outside speed looks like it's the way. There's a big favorite in here, Terry, and that is the number, I think, 7 horse.
Correct.
PD Bianchi. This horse, I remember, was supposed to run on Saturday at Belmont during our live show and scratched.
Yes.
It's the even money favorite. I noticed that in your hot dog, and I don't want to give anything away here, but you singled the 7 horse.
Right.
I'm not so sure I would have did that.
Okay.
Reason being, the horse is making its first start off a little bit of a layoff.
Yes.
So I went back to look to see every time the horse ran fresh, so to speak, and it's failed to win. And any time it's taken a little bit of time off.
Okay.
So it is the 1-to-1 horse. The numbers say it should be the 1-to-1 horse, and using the same logic that we used yesterday with the 6 horse in the first leg at Parks, I don't want to get beat by it.
Oh, I agree. I don't think we should single it in the fly. I do like the horse. I like the horse quite a bit. As you said, I singled it. He's just won at Saratoga, and now returns to Indiana Grand, where she's won 3 out of 4 starts.
And a second, so it could be 4-0. Yes, indeed.
It could be, and she has the best speed among the fastest is today's starters. But also, I understand what you're saying about coming back after a break, but had a pretty decent workout on September 26th of 48.4 breathing, 29th out of 125. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I mean, I think the horse should. It is the quality horse according to Money One and all that kind of good stuff. But I just look back to see how it ran fresh, and sometimes horses are, can be pattern animals, I guess. And when it didn't win fresh, I was like, So I want to try to beat it. Is my I guess is the end goal here.
So who are you going to use to beat?
I'm going to use Fireball Baby.
Number 5.
What do you think about Fireball Baby?
I like it. It's my 4th pick. She likes Indiana Grand Racetrack, finishing 15 times out of 21 races in the money, winning 6 of those races. She likes the distance that she's finished 9 times out of 11, and she's won 3 of those races. So, yeah, I like Fireball Baby.
Well, again, looking at cycles, like how horses, patterns that horses might run in. So to give you kind of a hint at how a horse gets into shape, for lack of a better term. Last time out, it won at this level at Indiana Grand, right? So, and it ran one of the top speed figures. It will be near the front. So again, speed does win, if not on the lead. It has beaten some of these horses before. But again, looking at patterns, unlike the last horse, P.D. Bianchi, who seems to struggle in fresh starts, Fireball Baby, I look back every single time this horse has run a second start off a layoff in its career, it has improved in race number 2. Well, race number 1, it won by 5.5 lengths. And the race before that, it missed by a neck on a sloppy track at the same distance, 1 mile and 16. So if the track conditions change, I don't think it's going to impact Fireball Baby at all. And if it improves like it has every other second start off a layoff, I think Fireball Baby can give Piatti Banchi more than she might be able to handle, get out to the lead and never look back.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. So,
yeah, right.
But there is a couple of long shots in here that at least one of them I'd like to put on the side. If you look at Wellington's Wonder, number 10, morning line 10-1, it didn't run very well on the turf, so it evidently doesn't like the turf. But you look at the dirt races prior to that. At this distance, been in the money 5 out of 6 times, winning twice. And at Indiana Downs, Grand, she's finished 8 out of 9 times in the money and won 4 of those. So I think that's a pretty decent long shot.
Actually, I had Wellington Wonder in my picks too, Terry, as my 3rd pick. So we're not going to put it off to the side. We're going to put it in, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good to me.
And the reason is, this is going to sound silly, but the other day, well, it was not silly, but the other day, remember, there was a horse that we talked about that we missed that we could have got because it regressed, improved, and then won. So it regressed in a race, and then it improved in the following race, but didn't win. But 2 races after the regression, it won, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Wellington Wonder's past performance lines, and here I'll bring this back up again on the screen, it's funny how sometimes these things happen, right? You get these things and you remember them. Yes. So here you go, Wellington Wonder, right?
Yes.
So you have race, regression, improvement, win, right?
Yeah.
Race, regression, improvement. So what's next, Terry?
Win.
So let's hope that's exactly how that plays out today for sure.
Okay.
How do we do a Delaware forecast? You can head over to Horse Racing Radar or Guaranteed Tip Sheet. At Horse Racing Radar, they have Delaware, the first 3 races for free on the free picks page. So make sure you head over there to that, or you can just buy them at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, or you can buy them for like $5 at Horse Racing Radar on their premium picks page. Thank you for asking, Actibaba. So let's get back to our picks, Terry. That was interesting when I saw that. So I agree with you. I like Wellington Wonder. Now, you mentioned there's another long shot. I wonder if we agree on this one too. So
number 6, Bumble of Love. She's won 3 races in a row on the turf, and now she goes back to dirt. And she showed in the past that she can win on either surface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked at the 6 horse too, Terry. It has run pretty well. But if you look back at its races on at Indiana Grand, its most recent races at distance, it hasn't really fared all that well on dirt at distances. So it did win its debut. I mean, its first race off a layoff. So I was looking at that one, and number 8, Magical Peapod. So Magical Peapod's coming in from Churchill Downs, which is a little bit, I think, of a higher graded track, if you will. It has Ferencvaru, who is probably one of the better jockeys here today, I would say for sure. And second time off a layoff, last number was one of the better numbers, was the favorite, got beat. Trainer tends to come back and win with about 32% with beaten favorites, and that's in 50 races, so that's a pretty good data sample. So to me, the 8 horse, I was looking between these 2 horses, and I decided on the 8 horse. So we'll come back and revisit this one after the next race. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Race number 9, Terry, I feel like it's again 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Again, speed wins, particularly outside in terms of post position. This is the Too Much Coffee Stakes, but unfortunately they spelled 2 wrong. So whoever named their horse got it wrong. But who do you like to start off the final leg here?
I like number 4, Hard Luck Justice. He's won 3 races in a row, and now is going for the 4th race win. And he has the highest last speed rating tied with another horse. And trainer wins 50% of the time when bringing a horse back from a 46 to 90 day break.
Yeah, and I was looking at this one, 4 of 8 at Indiana, so definitely a horse for the course for sure. Has won the last 3 races at 2 of the 3 at the distance, just smoking the field. And the thing is, this Sammy Bermudez, the jockey, he's ridden a couple of other horses in this field, and some of which are contenders, it looks like, based upon their morning line odds.
Right.
And he decides to ride the 4 horse. So the jockey made his choice. I'll go ahead and agree with the jockey.
Okay.
I got a little bit of a price as my second pick, Terry, because I agree with you. I had 4 as my top pick. I'm looking at number 1, Toss of Fate. Did you consider that horse?
I did. It's my 3rd pick, so I like it.
What do you like about it?
Well, he finished 2nd in his last race, and he's finished in the money at today's distance 78% of the time, winning 18% of those races. He's won at today's distance twice and has a really high percent trainer.
Yeah, and I did mention the Inside Out, but looks to me like this horse should be one. It had improvement pretty much in its middle part of its race and the late part of the race last time out. It's on the upswing, and if you look at that dirt record, I mean, it's pretty solid. And then at Indiana Grand, he's got 7 seconds in 13 races. So that tells me that the horse will be competitive at the end, and all it needs is a chance and a good trip to turn one of those 7s into a W here. And at 15 to 1 morning line odds, why not give it a crack? Who do you like as your 3rd pick?
Toss of Fate, number 1.
Well, that's who we put in just
I'm sorry. Number 3, Max Express. He has finished in the money in these last 4 races and winning one of them. He's a deep closer who will be coming fast at the end. So,
okay, I can look at him. I mean, it's not one that I had because I was focused on a little bit on speed, and we mentioned that the outside posts do better. We have the 3 of the 4 inside horses, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe we should take a look on the outside. Is there anything that you liked on the outside, or more towards the outside?
Let's see here.
I see the 7 horse Strong Tide was one that was kind of favored, but I kind of passed on him because most of his good work has come on the turf.
Yeah.
And the one I was kind of looking at, Terry, was to the inside of the 7 horse, and that's the 6 horse, Chip Off the Old Block.
Yeah.
This is a horse that I think should like the distance, has won 7 of 13. Well, he's run at the distance 4 times. That's another reason kind of I backed off of him, but to me, the horses behind the 4 are all pretty much jumbled up. So, but I do like the fact that Chip Off the Old Block does kind of fit that outer post speed profile, and won 7 of 13 at Indiana. He's just going to have to be able to do it at the distance.
Yeah, I had considered him too, and I have him written down here. His last race at Indiana Grand, he won, and like you said, he's had 7 wins out of 13 races at this track. So,
is any other horse? I mean, the 7, the 6, any other that you were considering at all?
He had last raced at Kentucky Downs where he had trouble and finished 6th, but he has a high percent jockey, Florent Guerrero. and has one of the highest last race speeding. His early speed running style will help the chances, and he has the best dirt speed among today's starters.
Which number was that? Because you kind of went out on me.
Number 7.
Number 7. So, all right. So now we have our like shell in place. We have a couple of horses. We can put two. We can put 2 more horses in. So do you want to put the 5 in the first leg so we have more coverage to get started, or would you rather put something in the last 2?
Geez, let me look here real quick.
3,
2, 8.
I always like to get off to a good start, Terry.
Yeah,
so let's
too.
go ahead and
put the 5.
just in case, because that's a price too. So that would be a great way to start the ticket. So the question is, in race number 7, where we have the 1-to-1 shot, is that the race that you want to put 3 horses behind them, or do you feel like we want to spend the money there?
I don't. I want the 7
in the last leg.
Yes.
All right. So we'll put the 7 in the last leg, and then if any of these horses scratches, then you'll have the 6 and the 8, or the 6. Or if you have a deeper budget than Terry and I, then you can go ahead and move ahead and use all of these horses. And hopefully we get the combination that provides for the biggest payout in terms of our pick 4. So, and Indiana Grand, the last 4 races, all of which are $100,000 stake races, which is why we picked the card today. I'd imagine that the money pool should be nice. So if we do get the right combination, Terry, hopefully it's a nice paying pick 4.
Yes, be nice.
So we're looking at 2, 3, 5, and 8 in race 6. In race 7, we have the 5, the 3, 5, 6, 9. Race number 8, we're hoping to beat that 1-to-1 favorite, the 7 horse, PD Bianchi, with the 5 or the 10. In race number 9, we're going 1, 3, 4, and 7. That, my friends, is $96 for 50 cents. Terry, I know that because that's where we go every day.
It is, yeah. We try to use up our budget.
Indeed, in hopes that we can catch some nice shots in there. You know, the thing yesterday of Parks, if we had gotten lucky and we had a chance with the 3 or the 4 where, no, that was Grants Pass the other day, where it could have been $17,000 if we had gotten through correctly. So I have a feeling we're sitting on one of these days, Terry. One of these days we'll come on at the beginning and be like, yes.
Yeah, that'll be it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, finally, Terry, yesterday you finally caught Sasquatch. 2 of my 3 horses won, but the 3rd horse didn't finish in the money, so that messed me up.
Yep. Well, today at Indiana Grand, race number 5, I like the 5 leading the charge, and race number 6, as I said, I like the 2 Holly Justice. Actually, my second pick, but I just got a feeling it's going to be in second or first, and then. In race number 7, I like the 5, which is pretty much, I think, a standout to be either first or second.
I agree with you. And then for me, I went to Remington Park, which is something we considered doing. Instead, we decided to go with Indiana Grand today. These are our best bets, both at Guaranteed Tip Sheet and Horse Racing Radar's prime picks or premium picks. Race number 5, I like the 6 Eurobond. Race number 8, the 5 Drifting West. Race number 9, the 4 horse Miss Long Legs. And every one of these is a pretty good price. I think they're all over 5-to-1 morning line odds. So if they come through, it should make for some good payouts. Another thing, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do the 3P parlay like Terry and I discussed, but these might be horses that you want to look at in your wagers today in terms of maybe putting them in your exactas or trifectas, maybe all over Terry's 5 in race number 5 and then 5 over all in exacta or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Right, Terry? That's how you like to use these things?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then one thing I almost forgot, Terry. Can you believe it?
The hot dog pick.
The hot dog. Hot dog pick 4. So here's how Terry laid out his Indiana Grand ticket all by himself. Race number 6, he thinks that's the hardest leg with the 2. Well, the second hardest leg with the 2, 3, 8, and 11. Race number 7, he went with the 5 and the 6. Race 8, he singled that 1-to-1 horse, PD Bianchi. In race number 9, Terry went as deep as he could, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7 to spend his $20 allotment. Me, I went 2, 3, 6 in race number 1, hoping to maybe catch a price with the 6. I think the 5 horse Mullins in race number 7 is a standout in that race. Race number 8, I'm hoping to beat the 7 with the 5 or the 10. And on the way home to close it out, I have the 1, 2, 4, and 6, just like we wrapped it up. Terry has the 7. I didn't take the 7 in this spot. Hopefully we find that right ticket that winds down, Terry, from top to bottom, that gives us 2 hot dogs and a fly so that we can take it home 3 ways today.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Terry, if folks like what they saw and they want to tell their friends about the Indiana Grand hot dog or fly fours, what do they do?
Well, they go on YouTube, you subscribe if you like it, and follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar, and you like us on Facebook at Racing Radars. Tell your friends to take a
Absolutely.
look at us.
Yes, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, however it is you communicate. Hell, right now, head over to the window, fling it open, and just start yelling out to your neighbors. Hey, head on over to Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button on Facebook, and of course, follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar, as Terry mentioned. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here on this hump day?
No, I'm hoping everybody has a really positive week and winning in all aspects of life.
Absolutely. Horse racing is just for the money you can afford to lose, folks. If you have an issue with it, again, in all seriousness, please seek help. Don't let it ruin your life. It's not worth it, right? A couple of winners here or there.
That's
all right,
right.
Terry, until we're back in 23 hours and 15, as always, everybody, good luck at the races, and we hope to see every one of our Indiana Grand picks in the
Winner's circle.
Absolutely, Terry.